What's up, everybody? This is Zoe Azubuike with Edge Home Finance. Another video for loan officer blueprints. This is kind of out of the norm because I'm finally able to talk basketball and mortgages at the same time. So, for my special guest today, I've got my very own brother, my other brother. Some of you guys have seen Jay, the loan officer that's on my team, but this is the brother right after me. I'm the oldest. Then comes Kelenna Azubuike, everyone. He is, I'm sure most of you already know who he is, but for those of you who don't, Kelenna is the color commentator for the Golden State Warriors and played in the NBA for 7 seasons. His longest stint was with the Golden State Warriors, who he works for now as a color commentator. And obviously, we know the Golden State Warriors won the championships last year. He's got a ring. So, Kelenna, thank you for joining me on this evening. How you
Yes,
doing,
sir.
bro?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me on. What's going on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not much, man. I want to talk with you about mortgages and basketball somehow because it's going to
Wow.
connect. I'm going to force it to connect on a day like today because for those of you guys who are familiar with the NBA, watch the NBA, you probably know that today was the NBA trade deadline, right? And took place, I think the deadline was at 3 p.m. Eastern, February 10th or February 9th, whatever today is. So I want to talk to Kelenna, and I'm pretty excited because I got you first, right? I don't know if have you been on any radio shows today? I know you haven't talked with Bob Fitzgerald yet because you don't have a game yet till tomorrow.
No, I haven't talked with him yet. No.
Okay, so that's my claim to fame. One is I beat Bob Fitzgerald to get your thoughts on all of the stuff that took place today. So tell me, what's your thoughts on just the shift with this crazy day? NBA trades, biggest one obviously, Kevin Durant going to the Phoenix Suns, and some other moves. What's your thoughts with all of it?
First of all, the West is loaded. Trade deadline day is just a crazy day, and this is one of the craziest I've ever seen.
Yeah,
It's so funny. Just start with the Brooklyn Nets first, and Kyrie leaving to Dallas, and then KD leaving to the Suns. It's so funny when they got James Harden, Kyrie, and KD. Everyone's like, "Oh my goodness, they may win a championship. This is the greatest victory we've ever seen."
yeah,
And like it happened so fast. They're all gone so quickly. And I was one of the people that was like, this isn't gonna work. It just something's gonna fall apart, injuries are not gonna be available, whatever the case, it's not gonna work. And sure enough, the Brooklyn Nets are just chilling right now with Ben Simmons. And
yeah.
that's not and he's lost all of his swag, all of
Right.
his I'm one of the best players out there swag. It's all gone. And so that's funny to me. But like I said, the West is pretty crazy right now. The Suns getting KD is pretty wild because he had talked about wanting to go there before. And I feel like it's going to work pretty good because I always saw Devin Booker as more of a number two. He
Yeah,
can play like a number one a good amount of the time, especially during the regular season. But in the playoffs, he kind of struggles at times and he can look more like a number two to me. And
yeah,
thinking about him being able to play off of KD and just kind of pick his spots and knock down threes and create his own shot here and there and be able to handle and make plays for KD at times, along with Chris Paul. That's pretty scary
yeah.
offensively. And then KD is going to make them better defensively. Well, Mikal Bridges was a really good defender, but KD plays both sides of the ball as well. And then he's just a generational talent
He's KD.
offensively.
Yeah, I mean
He's
he's
KD. It's just
yeah,
different. I don't think Mikal Bridges is surprised that he got traded for KD. He's probably surprised that he got traded just in general. But
yeah,
you get traded for KD, you're like, oh, I'm getting traded for who?
yeah.
KD. Oh, yeah. Everybody's gonna get traded for that guy. I mean, that's ridiculous. The Warriors got GB2 back, which
Saw
is
that.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
He's going to help them defensively because the Warriors have kind of struggled at times defensively
yeah.
this season. But the Warriors need to pick it up, man, especially since Steph is going to be down for a while. They just lost last night. That was a rough one. It's kind of the same way it's been going all season with the Warriors. They work so hard to end up losing. Like they put themselves in position to win, and then in the end, they're just not able to close. which is weird. Obviously, you didn't have Steph last night. He's one of your main closers, but even
And
some
for
of the
those of
games
you guys
with
who don't
Steph,
know, he's talking about the game against the Portland
Portland Trailblazers.
Trailblazers, lost
Yeah,
by 2 points.
and that's been kind of their season right now. So
Yeah. So let me interject a question for you, bro, because
yeah,
this is kind of where I'm going to get the fun and connect mortgages to all of this. Okay, so tell me what you think of this. So my claim to fame, I got two claim to fame. One is first off with you getting the NBA and having a super successful career, not only playing but in broadcasting. Super proud of you. Got to say that. But my
appreciate
first
it.
claim to fame is, you know, I'm your brother, but I'm your older brother, right? And I played basketball first. I've even heard you admit that in different interviews. So I'd like to say that I've taught you everything you know, just so everyone else out there, we clarify. Like that's where it comes from. Okay, I'm Kelenna's oldest brother. I played basketball first. He took it to the next level. That's my claim to fame. My second claim to fame is the fact that United Wholesale Mortgage, the CEO for United Wholesale Mortgage, Mat Ishbia, is now the owner of the Phoenix Suns. Okay. So this is a fun mortgage connection for me because our company, Edge Home Finance, which I'm not pointing to our logo, is a national mortgage broker of the year. We won that last year. We're one of the top volume lenders in the country as far as brokers connected with United Wholesale Mortgage. They're our number one wholesale partner. And Mat Ishbia is now the owner of the Phoenix Suns. So, Kelenna, I don't know if you know any connection, if you've had any kind of sources that just kind of told you the inside scoop. From what I've heard, is that Mat Ishbia wasn't even supposed to be the owner of the Suns yet. Like I think he had like a few more weeks. It was supposed to be like a full-on owner until March or something. But he pushed, to really try to get to the team before this deadline to really help start making this stuff happen. Started working with James Jones, the GM for the Phoenix Suns. And this is kind of what we've seen him do on behalf of the broker channel in the mortgage space. Just very, very business savvy type guy who's very, very hardworking and he gets after it. So I don't know if that's something that you've heard or what have you heard of Mat Ishbia? What do you know about him and his influence to potentially kind of, you know, make this huge move for the Phoenix Suns?
Well, his tenure starts with a boom. I see that, and I believe they approved it. The board of governors approved it a few days ago or something like
Yeah,
that.
just
His
recently. Yeah,
ownership, management, everything. And I don't know too much about him, honestly, but obviously he wanted to get everything finalized before the trade deadline to make this move. And he found a way to get it done. I think that he was helped by the fact that Kyrie left and Katie was just
yeah,
kind of a sick duck if he was going to be in Brooklyn. Probably didn't feel like he had a good enough team to compete for championships. And that's all Katie is about right now is trying to compete for championships. And Ben Simmons wasn't going to help.
right.
And so he wanted to get out of there, I'm sure, even more after Kyrie left. And Mat Ishbia probably had seen that Katie was interested in them and he was going to make it happen at all costs. And they did it. And they gave up a good amount to get him. But I think almost no price is too much to pay for KD. And obviously, he's pretty business savvy. He's a go getter. And you said that's how he moves in the mortgage space. And I like his mentality
Yeah.
because scared money don't make money, as they say, and he's obviously not afraid to make some big moves and make something happen. I'm sure everybody in the NBA is going, "Oh yeah, it's a great move for the Suns because they
Yeah.
just got way better. And now you got to think about them even more as a championship contender, whereas before maybe a good regular season team if they can stay healthy, but still kind of had to prove it in the finals or in the playoffs. They struggled in the finals against the Bucks after having the advantage in that series. The Bucks came back and beat them, and just haven't had the kind of success, obviously, that they would like. And they've had some issues. That's why the ownership had to be changed.
Yeah.
Obviously, about that story, and Mat Ishbia jumped on the opportunity. It's a great team to own. It's a great city. I love Phoenix. We've been there a good amount of times,
Yeah.
and all around great move for them.
Yeah, awesome. So I got to ask, let's circle back to the Warriors because obviously, you guys are the defending champs. And I like the GP move as well. You pointed that out. What do you feel of the Warriors' chances? And this is the other thing too. I don't like that they let go of Wiseman. I really had high hopes for him. I guess they just kind of felt maybe I don't know that they just lose patience on the guy. They just feel like GP I love, but now you're just not. You don't have any size. Like where's your size come from? What's your thoughts on the
I was
Warriors moving
disappointed.
forward?
I was disappointed that James Wiseman moved. Fitz and I would always talk to James Wiseman and say, "Hey, you're not doing anything wrong. You're doing everything right. Keep working at it." And Coach Kerr just never saw him as someone that could contribute. And I think the way Coach Kerr, the way he views younger players and their ability to contribute, especially bigs, I feel like he makes them work a little more to earn their playing time. He doesn't let them play through mistakes. And I feel like this would have been the year to kind of let him play through mistakes because the Warriors are 28 and 27. Like they wouldn't have a worse record if he was playing 20 minutes a game.
Yeah,
And I feel like if you were a little more intentional about infusing confidence in him and letting him play and not pulling him every time he makes mistakes, I feel like he could have been playing with a lot more confidence right now and you would know what you have.
yeah,
But as it is, also, he's had some injuries that have just come at the worst times in the season. Like there was an 8-game homestand where he should have been really starring and been on display. His talent should have been on display. And Jermichael Green was out, who was playing in front of him, so he was going to have to play. And he turns his ankle. And
yeah.
that's just kind of been the summary of his tenure with the Warriors. It's just been kind of injury riddled, lack of playing time consistently. Is he in the rotation? Is he not? Most of the time, not. Sent down to the G League, back up, sent back down, and he just never was able to get any kind of rhythm or play with any kind of confidence. But when he would come in the game, you saw flashes of brilliance
Yeah,
and
yeah,
what he was able to do. And when he's in the pick and roll, defenders have to respect what he brings and play it differently because you got to give him that lob respect. So the bigs stay with him. A lot of times the guard gets a layup or some type of floater or easier floater because everybody's focused on him. And when he comes in, he makes good moves, all that stuff. Maybe his reaction time wasn't as good when it comes to rebounding and blocking shots. His timing on that end, but that could have gotten better. I just feel like he didn't really get a chance to flourish and show what he can do. And hopefully he gets that with the Pistons.
yeah.
But the Warriors just didn't really give him a chance, I don't feel like. And when he was in the game, the players didn't look for him enough. I feel like they could have tried to get it to him a little more, throw it over the top when he's sealing, throw it to him in pick and roll a little more, because you can't teach that kind of athleticism at that size. So I
Yeah.
feel bad for him, but I hope he does well. I think he will do well eventually with the Pistons or wherever he ends up. And
Yeah.
you asked, how do I feel about the Warriors' chances? It's weird. I still feel like when all the way healthy, no one can beat the Warriors in a
They can
7-game
compete with
series.
anybody.
They can compete with anybody, especially if they learn from their mistakes, kind of like they did last year, because we were kind of having some of the same conversations we are this year. Last year, when it comes to turnovers, defending without fouling, some of the defensive rebounding issues at times, and the Warriors kind of figured it out when they really needed to and went on a 5-game winning streak right before the playoffs and went in the playoffs feeling good, and they got it done. And so this year they're a little worse with all those different categories,
Right.
and add in closing games as an issue and blowing leads at times. So they got more to figure out, but I still think they can do it. It's
They can
just
do
like
it.
it's just there's they're in the ninth spot right now, and if you end up in the play-in tournament, anything can happen. And
Well, and the West is loaded like it's
with the
never
way the
been,
West
too.
is now, yeah, with the way the West is now, it's even more treacherous. So
Yeah.
you have to turn a corner here in the regular season and really go on a winning streak and see if you can make a move, because you don't want to be in the play-in tournament. And if you do end up in the play-in tournament and you win, you don't want to face Denver, who is amazing right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And we saw that. You guys were at the game in Denver.
Yeah.
So they really need to get it together.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you, man. All right, last question for you, and I'm going to preface it with um, ultimately, I'm going to ask you what's the best team combination you think to win in this NBA, in this day and age in the NBA? And in the mix of the mortgage, again, always trying to tie in something with the mortgage. I really feel like I'm trying really hard to do that. but the
But
fun
that's
thing
what you
here is,
do.
especially just with this whole Mat Ishbia talk, right, is just reminding everybody that the ultimate team for buying a home and having a lender is working with the broker. And again, Edge Home Finance, we are one of the top brokers in the country. So Mat Ishbia is a big proponent of that. And I love that he's an owner now, because it's going to become more and more um, prevalent to people that the best way to get a loan is through a broker, because it's just cheaper, easier, faster. And that's one of Mat Ishbia's things that he's always pushing. But so we make a really good team with the mortgage route and home buying. I want to know what you think makes the ultimate team combination, like combination of players. We're always talking about how, like, we saw Westbrook not really work with LeBron and AD, and we had like three of the best players ever to do it, top 75, and they just don't work. And sometimes you think there's a combination of players that should just automatically mean success, and it doesn't always work like that. So I wonder if that's going to take place in Dallas with Kyrie and Luca, two very ball dominant guys. But I'm just curious, from your standpoint and perspective, what do you think is kind of like just ideal pieces, ideal combinations to win in today's NBA?
Well, you need some players that are two-way guys for sure, defensively, because that's the one thing with Dallas. Everybody talks about, can they work offensively? I think they'll figure it out, but they've never had issues offensively. Their issue is defense. Like, I think they're 22nd in defensive efficiency right now, and they
Yeah,
just got worse because Dorian Finney-Smith was a really good defender. Kyrie isn't a
doesn't
great
really.
defender.
Yeah,
Luca
Luca
isn't
doesn't
great
play D either.
defensively. Right. And so that backcourt is pretty bad defensively, and teams are going to take advantage of that in the playoffs. So that would be my worry with them. I think offensively, we've seen Luca with Jalen Brunson kind of take turns here and there. When Luca goes out, Jalen Brunson runs the show. They'll probably kind of do the same thing with Kyrie, stagger the minutes, let them both start, and stagger the minutes, and let one guy run the show. And then when they're both in there at the same time, just kind of take turns, because they are both ball dominant. But again, it kind of worked with Jalen Brunson, and he went on and got a big contract because of how well he played with Luca. So offensively, they'll probably be fine. They'll probably be okay. I'm sure they'll figure that out. But defensively, that's where they're going to have some issues, and that's why I don't think they'll win a championship the way the team is currently constructed. But what makes the perfect team? I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to do it. If you do have one ball dominant guy, you need a guy that can really play well off the ball and cut and move and play off the guys really well and understands how to do that and has high IQ that way. And then you need shooters around stars. You need shooters like
Yeah.
around Giannis. They try to surround him with shooters, Middleton and these guys. So that's always key, especially in
By
this
the
league.
way, by the way, Jay Crowder going to Milwaukee. I like that move, right? You like
I
that
like
move?
that move. I like that move. Yeah, another shooter, and
Tough
yeah, they're
guy,
always,
play
yeah,
D.
tough
Yeah,
defensively. They're always trying to surround Giannis with shooters, but that's one of the keys, obviously, in the league now that shoots where guys shoot as many threes as they do. It's always smart to surround your stars with shooters, and then
yeah,
you'd love to have some kind of size in there just so you don't get exposed on the boards. But the Warriors don't really put an emphasis on that, and they've done pretty well.
small
So
ball.
I think more teams are okay with not having that as long as they have the personnel to really hurt you on the other end.
Yeah, yeah. Right on, man. Well, I appreciate your time, bro. It's always fun hanging and yeah, allowing me to just utilize you to mix in some basketball talk with all the mortgage talk I normally do in my videos. So appreciate you giving us some time, and hopefully everyone out there enjoyed our time together. So yeah, I guess I will see you next time you're in Denver.
Yep.
Next time we come out to the Bay. Um, but yeah, bro, appreciate you being on, man.
Yeah.
And
Thanks for having me on. This was fun. Keep killing the mortgage game. Keep doing what you
we
do.
will do that. We will do that. We will do that. And yeah, hopefully people like Mat Ishbia, doing the whole thing in the league as an owner, putting the word out there for brokers.
Yeah, it's big for
Obviously,
you guys.
yeah, it's huge. It's huge. Pretty excited about that. But yeah, bro,
Nice.
appreciate you being on, man. And thanks for everyone for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next video. Take care and God bless.